Welcome to Christian Life Adventure, and thanks for tuning into the channel. We live in a world of picture-perfect Instagram photos and doctored-up Facebook profiles, and yet that's not nearly the reality that we all live in from day to day. What I mean is, there is a serious struggle going on, one that nobody likes to talk about or face, as if that somehow makes it not real, or as if it would actually make it disappear. But again, that's not reality either. So let's look at what's really going on and figure out how to best cope with this reality that exists for all of us in all of our lives, whether we admit it or not.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Deep down in our core, we are selfish human beings. When I think about when my mom told me as a child not to go in that cookie jar, I think we all know what happened. Nobody taught me that. That was just a selfish nature. Or how about when we were playing with other kids and we all had all these toys and all of a sudden we wanted to just take our toys and go home. Again, nobody taught us that. That was our natural reaction. Paul talks about this in Romans 7. In verse 15 he says, I don't do what I want to do. I do what I hate. He goes on to say, so I agree with what is right. So it's not about the rule. It's not about the law. And that's not the solution. What he's talking about is, I have a goal. Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to change or whatever it is. And yet I don't do what I want to do. In other words, I'm out of control. My life is unmanageable. He says in verse 18, I have the desire to do good, but I can't actually do it. So instead of doing what good like I want to, I keep on doing what I don't want to. The most frustrating thing about Christianity is this, that we are trapped in this sinful nature. Here we are. We have the right goals, the right motives, the right morals, and we struggle to perform it. And the more we walk in the flesh, the more we will struggle about fighting the flesh. But the reality is this, it is a war, truthfully. And we should not be honestly surprised if we're honest that we're in a war, but we didn't expect battles, or we didn't expect struggles or failures. Those are all actually normal parts of a war. And likewise, they're all natural parts of our journey. So here we are, and we're needing a barometer of sorts. We need to be able to monitor and check the pressure that's going on within us. And maybe that's exterior, maybe it's from your job and outside pressures, or maybe it's from yourself and it's inside pressures, because we will put a lot of pressure on ourselves. And we need to be able to balance those scales, because the devil would like you to get so high on your horse that you don't need anybody or anything, and you're just arrogant and prideful, or he'd have you on the other extreme to where you're so down in the dumps and you're so depressed and you just want to give up on everything, all the way to the point of suicide. Either one of those he's happy with because he's winning. And God wouldn't want you to be on either ends of those spectrums. Nevertheless, there is going to be mountaintops. There is going to be breakthroughs, right? And there is going to be valleys. There is going to be obstacles and bad times and rough times. And that's when you're going to want to give up. You're going to want to just throw in the towel. And it's okay to feel like that. But ultimately, you must dust yourself off and keep pressing forward. Think about it like a marathon. Just take the next best step. When you're climbing that mountain, you need to be very careful about every step you take, lest you should slip and fall off a cliff. Or if you were in a hike, don't look at the whole distance. Just look at the next step. Just keep taking a step and another step and another step. And before you know it, you'll look back and you'll see a great distance that you've made. So don't focus too much on the whole thing. There's going to be little battles. There are going to be little obstacles. And the reality is that all of these should lead us back to Him. Because everything that we encounter in this world really is a false sense of security. Even success is kind of a little bit of a false success. Think about it when you've seen an advertisement for something and they promised you it was going to be the greatest thing in the world. And it doesn't matter if it was a computer or a car or something for your house. It didn't meet the expectation when it arrived because they sold you a lie. The next thing you know, you're back on Amazon, you're looking to make the next purchase. Because the reality is, if he is not the absolute center of your life, if he's not the center of your dreams, your focus, your heart, your prayers, not as a genie, but on what you're praying for, and your desires, then it's all just a lie. And it's a falsehood. And it will end in heartache, I promise you. Now, you will have heartaches throughout life, but whether the whole big picture is a heartache is a different story. I just don't want it to end in misery for you. I don't want to see you give up. I want you to be encouraged, and that's what he wants for you, because he has that hope for you. But he must be the source for us, for all of our hope, for our joy, for our expectations, and our future and our dreams should have him in it. Otherwise, it'll be just like a falsity about a partner completing us. If two people that are lacking come together, you just have a couple of lacking people together. The partner's not going to complete you. God is the one that completes us. You were born with a void in you that only he can complete. Not alcohol, not drugs, not money, not sex, not success, not monetary things. All the way around the board, we can keep trying to put square pegs in round holes, but he's the one that completes us. Now, when two complete people come together, then they complement one another. When two failing people come together, there's just two failures struggling and fighting against one another. So there is hope. And it's not about willpower, because that's what Paul was addressing. It's not enough to know what's right or wrong. He said that. He said that in verse 16, that he agrees with what's right. So the rules and the laws are not a solution. So where is the solution? Most people stop at that chapter there, and lots of people talk about it, but nobody goes on to the next chapter. For in chapter 8, verse 1, he says, "There is therefore now no condemnation for those of us who are in Christ Jesus." See, that's what we really need, is no condemnation. Because the reality is, as long as we're in this flesh, we are going to fail. It's not just that there's potholes and pitfalls and struggles. It's that we're going to fall down and we're going to need to get back up and dust ourselves off. And when we do fail, we need to know that there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. For we are set free in Christ Jesus. See, God did what the law couldn't. He condemned the sin in the flesh. Now, this isn't for people that just continue to walk in sin and don't try. He said, for who walk not according to flesh, but according to the Spirit. So you have the victory. You are the victory. You are empowered. He is living within you. And God can't fail. So if we're following him and we're following his lead, it will lead to success. But again, it is a war. So we should expect the battle. But when you fall, when you make a mistake, don't let down. Don't lay down. Don't let up. Don't give up. Just keep going. Keep dusting yourself off. Keep fighting the battle, and you'll win the war. The battles are small, and you may lose some, but if you keep winning, you'll win the war. And he's lying to you when he says that it's easier to lay down. It's easier at that moment, for broad is the way and great is the way that leads to destruction, but the end of that is more misery, and that's what he knows. So don't take off. Don't let up. Keep pressing forward. You have the victory, and you can have the victory. Again, for those who walk not according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. God gives us the victory, and there is no condemnation for those of us who are in Christ Jesus. Have a great week.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.